तो मुझे खुशी है ये बर्बाद हो गया।
एक हीरो खुश मैं रखूंगा।
दोनों पागल ही हो जाती हो।
The movie begins with an arena full of excited fans screaming for a K-pop girl group, Huntrix, who are due to perform in front of them. Celine, Rumi's caretaker and an ex-K-pop star, begins telling the Huntrix that demons have always existed in the human world, waiting for their chance to steal the souls of innocent humans and channeling the strength back to their king, Gui Ma. Until the warriors appeared and made it their mission to take them down by singing songs that would drive back darkness. The warriors were more than just hunters. Their songs would ignite the soul and bring people together. Because of this connection, the first hunters were able to create a shield around the world, known as the Han Moon. Every generation, a new trio of hunters was chosen to fulfill their ultimate duty, making the barrier so strong that it became impenetrable, now known as the Golden Han Moon. Celine claims that the duty now falls onto the Huntrix to rebuild the Golden Han Moon. In the present time, the new trio of hunters known as the Huntrix are on a plane when their stage manager, Bobby, notices that their plane is flying in the opposite direction of the arena. When he calls the Huntrix and asks them where they are going, the three of them realize that their plane has been overtaken by demons. Rumi, Mira, and Zoe immediately stand alert and begin singing as they effortlessly take the demons down. Somehow, they manage to make it onto the stage on time and put up an Oscar-worthy performance for their fans until they notice that they have successfully maintained the Han Moon barrier. Meanwhile, the surviving demons make it back to the demon world, where they hesitantly present themselves in front of Guima. The Demon King shows no mercy and kills the demons that he thinks are weak. However, this is when a courageous demon steps forward and begins singing, mocking the Demon King and his flame that grows cold with each passing day that he does not receive souls to feast on. The demon named Jinu steps forward and tells Guima that they need to change their strategy and go after the one thing that powers the Han Moon, which is the fans. With this, the idea of a demon boy band is introduced, but Guima is not convinced as easily as the other demons and asks Jinu what he is after, to which he responds by saying that he wants his memories erased, the ones that still haunt him from the days he was a young human boy. On the other hand, in the human world, the Huntrix wrap up their last performance of the tour. On their way down from the stage, the three of them talk about how close they are to activating the Golden Han Moon, since they had seen specks of Golden Han Moon in the audience earlier that night. All of a sudden, Rumi realizes that her throat is dry, but she brushes it off by claiming that she needs a sip of water. Before the doors of their elevator open, the trio decides that it might be time to release their new single, Golden. As soon as the girls meet Bobby, he tells them that he has booked a week-long resort in Korea for them, but they turn the offer down by telling him that they want to relax on their couches. Once they get home, both Mira and Zoe launch themselves onto their couch to relax, while Rumi sneaks away into their closet and changes into their special outfit for the new single. Unbeknownst to Mira and Zoe, Rumi releases their new single. When she tells her friends about it, they complain about it, but when Bobby rushes into their room to tell them that their single has been a hit, they jump right into promoting it. During an interview, they reveal that they will soon be performing their single live, making everyone excited for their performance. A few days later, during a mock performance, Rumi accidentally sings off-key as her throat goes dry. Convinced that this is a one-time thing, she assures everyone that they need to start from the top again. However, Rumi sings off-key again and rushes off stage to take a 5-minute break. In her dressing room, she notices that her demon patterns have reached her throat and affected her voice. Upset, she leaves the arena as a flashback plays for her. She recalls sitting in front of her mother's grave as Celine braids her hair. A young Rumi asks Celine if hunters kill all demons, to which Celine responds by saying that they do. Confused, Rumi reveals demon patterns on her arms and asks her if hunters kill everyone with patterns. Celine tells Rumi to never show her patterns again, claiming that she only has patterns because her father was a demon, assuring her that she is a demon hunter just like her mother, and that once the On Moon is sealed, her patterns will go away. Determined to sing, Rumi tries to sing her lines but breaks down again. Angry, she asks herself why everything is crumbling when she is so close to the finish line. As she angrily shouts instead of her own voice, she realizes that she has let out a demon's roar. Scared and nervous, she returns home, recalling all the times she could not enjoy things with her friends since she had promised Celine that she would not reveal anything. To her surprise, when she gets home, she finds that Mira and Zoe have canceled the show and were waiting for her with soup. Zoe assures Rumi that they can reschedule their show, but she claims that it might not be possible because her voice is in trouble. Confused, Mira asks her why she pushed for the release of Golden, but Rumi only responds by saying that she did it because it was important. Wanting to help, Zoe suggests that they see a doctor who is known for his special tonics that will help heal Rumi's voice, which is why the Huntrix undercover head to see the sketchy doctor who tells them that they need to fix the whole thing if they want to help Rumi. Since his words make no sense, they grab the tonics from him and leave only to hear someone heading towards them. They quickly put their hoods on to hide their identity and began walking out of the alley when they came across a group of very good-looking boys headed their way. They immediately start to drool until Genu bumps into Rumi, causing her to fall over. Instead of apologizing, he tells her to be more careful. Not long after that, they hear music coming from the streets and discover that they are part of a new boy band called the Saja Boys. Upon closer inspection, they realize that they are demons who are after their fans. They begin to devise a plan to take the Saja Boys down while they are on stage. They hide behind the stage, but Genu notices them and puts them in the spotlight. Not able to refuse their invitation to join them on stage, the Huntrix try to play nice until the curtain falls. They rush after the Saja Boys, who make their way into a bathhouse and unleash water demons at them. While Mira and Zoe fight off the demons, Rumi rushes after Genu, who manages to cut through Rumi's sleeve. He gets caught off guard when he notices that she is part demon. On the other side, both Mira and Zoe call out to her, but Rumi finds herself torn between wanting to help her friends and not wanting to expose herself. To her surprise, Genu comes to her rescue and ties something around her arm to keep her patterns hidden. As she jumps in the middle of the fight, Genu manages to get away. With all demons taken down, the girls leave the bathhouse unaware that a demon is still hiding in the water and has stolen a soul. On the other end, Genu is summoned back in the demon world, where Guima receives a soul, courtesy of the Saja Boys. He praised them for a job well done and told Genu that he can sense a demon among the Huntrix, but is unable to control her. Genu assures him that they will get to her using her shame. Back in their apartment, the girls notice cracks in the Hanmoon and decide that they need to release a new song to win back their fans and crush the Saja Boys. That night, when Rumi returns to her room, she notices a three-eyed crow at her window. When she goes out to look at it, she discovers a tiger cat hiding among her plants. Curious, she gets closer to the cat, only to find a note from Genu inside her mouth, asking to meet him alone. She decides to meet with him and finds him waiting for her. He tries to tell her that they are the same, claiming that demons are not unfeeling monsters. He reveals that 400 years ago, he and his family were struggling to fill their stomachs until he began to hear Guima in his ear, who told him that he was no good. When he finally decided to give in, Guima made his life slightly better, where his voice was recognized by the king, and for once, his family wore clean clothes and ate food until their stomachs were full. However, all of this ended one day when the patterns took over his body, and he was banished to the underworld. He tries to convince her to confide in him about the shame she has felt, but Rumi refuses to acknowledge that they may be similar. Over the next few days, the Huntrix focuses on coming up with a new song as the Idol Awards draw closer. During this time, the Saja Boys fanbase grows to double its size. Worried that they are losing their fans, Rumi suggests that they should sit together at signings in order to not divide their fan bases. When Rumi begins to act strange and gets comfortable with Jinu's tiger cat, Mira senses that she is keeping something from them, but Rumi assures her that she is not. Eventually, they come up with a new song called Takedown, but Rumi begins messing with the lyrics without her friend's knowledge. At the same time, Guima continues to steal souls and grows stronger with each passing day. One day, Rumi decides to meet with Jinu secretly and tells him that he should help the Huntrix make the Hanmoon stronger so that he can go back to being human again. Although he does not think that there is any hope for him, Rumi manages to convince him that he is not hopeless. With the Idol Awards looming over their heads, the Huntrix practice their new song, Takedown. Rumi confesses that the song does not feel right to her and that something needs to change. Hearing this, Mira starts to get angry, claiming that they cannot change the lyrics at the last moment. As their fighting continues, they sense demons nearby. Soon, the girls find themselves on top of a train fighting demons. When Mira questions why Rumi has been acting strangely, she angrily claims that not everything is about her insecurities. Rumi starts to apologize until she notices a large tear behind them and tries to fight the large number of demons who had trickled in through the tear. Once they kill all of them, the Huntrix discover that they were too late and all the passengers inside the train have disappeared. When they return home, Rumi meets with Jinu again and tells him that she has taught her that there is no shame in having patterns. She begins singing, and Jinu follows after her. By the time they finish singing, Jinu realizes that he no longer hears the voices in his head. Sometime later, Jinu is summoned back to the demon world, where Guima reminds him that he lied to Rumi and did not tell her the fact that he was the one to betray his own family. As voices begin to grow, Guima tells Jinu that he cannot be stupid enough to believe that Rumi will be able to stop the voices in his head. The next day, as everyone gears up for the Idol Awards, the Huntrix prepare to dominate, unaware that Jinu's plans have changed. When the host welcomes the Saja Boys onto the stage, everyone is surprised to see that they are a no-show. Instead, the Huntrix are pushed to present first. For the first time, the Huntrix performs Golden, and this time, Rumi crushes her solo part without singing off-key. Meanwhile, Mira and Zoe notice Bobby getting taken away by demons. They rush to help him, only to discover that they were all demons. At the same time, the real Bobby watches as things begin to crumble. When Rumi finishes singing Golden, feeling better than ever about seeing signs of the Golden Hanmoon, she hears the start of their new unreleased song, Takedown. Caught off guard, she begins singing again when Mira and Zoe join her on stage. However, something is off about the two of them, making it seem like they are fighting. They begin to ambush Rumi by taking off her coat, revealing her arms full of patterns for her real friends to see. As the patterns begin to cover her entire body, Rumi rushes off the stage, where she notices the real Mira and Zoe watching her. With her secret out in the open, she tries to convince them that she is not a demon, but accidentally lets out her demon voice, causing them to grow wary. When Mira and Zoe draw out their weapons, Rumi rushes off to find Jinu, but when she discovers him, he tells her the truth about his past, revealing that he only made a deal with Guima to save himself from a miserable life. He tells her that the two of them will never be anything more than monsters, and that all they can do is live with their pain and misery. Once Jinu disappears, Rumi leaves to find Celine, causing a large tear in the Hanmoon. In the meantime, Mira and Zoe come out of the arena to find that the demons have begun to grow stronger, meaning that Guima is on his way to the human world. Suddenly, the Saja boys appear on the screen and promise the people a mind-blowing performance following the very public breakup of the Huntrix. When Rumi finds Celine, she claims that the only reason her demon side was able to take over was because Celine had been forced to keep all of her flaws hidden. She then begs Celine to kill her and do what should have been done years ago. Celine tells her that keeping their fears and flaws hidden was the only thing that prevented the Hanmoon from breaking apart. Angered by this, Rumi tells her that if this was the Hanmoon she was supposed to protect, then she is glad that it is gone. Just then, Rumi disappears in a puff of smoke. Back at the arena, the Saja boys have managed to gather a large crowd with Guima behind them. As they begin singing, the crowd starts moving towards the fire, unaware that their souls will be stolen. Suddenly, Rumi appears in front of them and starts to sing. When Mira and Zoe join her, they manage to repair the Hanmoon despite Guima trying his best to keep them from doing so. When Guima attacks Rumi, it is Jinu who saves her. He claims that she helped him get his soul back, and he will help her get her soul back. The Huntrix manage to get rid of Guima and make the Hanmoon stronger than ever. Once the entire ordeal is over, Rumi's scars fade but don't completely disappear, as they are an integral part of her identity. She is finally able to show them off without feeling shame. Thank you for watching. Check out these other videos and make sure to subscribe and tap the bell to be notified about our latest videos. See you next time.